Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Sacred Sites Multidimensional Me. I am on 7 now. I'm on episode 7, so that's pretty cool. Just some really quick stuff before I start. I am running a promotion now till the end of June 30th, where if you book an hour with me, then you get a 30-minute to gift to someone else. My website should be back up tomorrow. So thank goodness, finally. Hey, Ken, how are you? Good to see you. So that should be back up tomorrow. But in the meantime, if you want to book with me, I have my website here right underneath my name. You can email me at deepdivesinthedesert@gmail, and I will help you set up your stuff before it gets up and running again. I'll help you to book. Okay, so that's that. It has been so. I am so not good with computers and technical stuff. It is not my forte. So it's been a process. Um, Hi, Steph. How are you? Good to see you. I'm really excited about this show. I've been really tired. Have you guys been tired lately? I have been. So I don't know if it's like the Schumann stuff. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but I'm exhausted. And I go to like meditate, and then I fall asleep, and then I'm trying to get my meditation in and get it done. But tonight I decided I'm going to drink some tea while we're doing the show. I have Solritas. I'm not affiliated, but I just love it so much that I want to share it with you guys because it's so yummy. It's hard to see because it's got like gold, but it's beautiful. This is her Soul Alchemy, and this one that I have is Abundance, and I love the way that she does it because she puts them as her potions. I'm putting sounds like it made. And then she has like these things that you can say affirmations. And this one's I attract abundance and prosperity with ease. And it has such good ingredients. This one's got apple, orange segments, peppermint, ginger, turmeric, and lemon peel. It's so good. There's not like any like tea in them. They're just blends of different things. But I love this one. It just tastes so refreshing, and I love the abundance affirmation that she's put on with that. You're extremely tired too. Are you guys sleeping a lot? Like, are you like napping all the time? Um, Stephanie too, so tired. Oh my gosh, same with my meditations. I can't do it. I get so sleepy. I know. You know what I need to do is just in the morning, like before I get up in the morning, before I start my day, I I'll do like a quick, just kind of run over to clear myself and do that. But I need to stay there a little bit longer. Or the other thing I can do is, come downstairs. I love John's chair. He's got like a recliner chair. It's real cushy and comfy. And I could just sit in that and do it like with my back straight and up. Because if I lay down, that's it. I'm out. I don't know. It's so I was thinking refreshing when you said that. It is. It's really good. I bet you. I wonder if you could do it cold. You probably could too. I prefer my teas like hot, so I've got it like brewing right now with some honey. I love this place. It's called Holy Honey, and they have these like creamy infused honeys, and I love them. They're so good. So I do the one that they send like every month. You can join like a thing, and they'll just send it. And I thought it was a good way to just try them all. There's a whole bunch of them, and they're really good. But they also have, some of my favorites. Like I love the creamy lavender. It's my favorite. Favorite is the creamy peppermint, and Johnny loves the creamy vanilla bean. They're so good, you guys. They taste really decadent. And now I'm putting it in my coffee with like cream instead of using like I don't know anything else to do it because I don't like it black. I don't really enjoy it like that. But you never lay down. Oh, I'm sorry. I just saw that. That was funny. I never lay down. I don't know why it doesn't work for me. You're falling asleep with your like, oh, that would be. I probably would do that too. I'm telling myself that I probably would be better that way. And watch, I'll be the same as you, and I'll be like totally out. I just saw some peach honey from a local farm. Oh, you mentioned that last time. I was thinking. I don't know if they have that at Holy Honey. That sounds delicious, though. That would be really, really good. Not just in tea, like even to drizzle on stuff. That sounds amazing. Um, you have to tell me what else you use it on. But anyway, yeah. So this show is this time I wanted to go into like star maps and our DNA because you hear about these things and I get stuff when I am doing like my meditations and stuff, but I was like, I wonder if there's a way like astrologically. I know there's people that can look at your star charts, but I wanted to understand it better and just kind of see what the cosmic origins and like you would hold in it. And then like if your DNA is connected to that, which is looking like the more that people that I see that it is there like celestial memory in it too? So I wanted to kind of see, just what we did. So anyway, welcome you guys back to Sacred Sites Multidimensional. Me and I'm Lisa, and I just kind of like to blend science with stuff like spiritual stuff, and then us talking about like our inner knowing and deeper layers of like reality. So we're on episode 7, and I just want to look back really quickly to like the previous episodes. So in episode 1, we covered multidimensional sight and the universe being a hologram. And then in 2, we looked at parallel lives. In 3, we covered fractals and frequency, and how you can recognize patterns in your reality. And then in 4, we spoke about light language and the science behind vibration and coherence and soul communication. And then in episode 5, we covered time, and not the ticking clock version, but time as a field, a frequency, and a co creative force. And then in 6, we spoke about what a dimension is. And now here we are. We're talking about uh, this. We're talking about our maps into our DNA. So um, this one kind of lit me up because I really wanted to understand this one. And it was like a question for me because I was thinking, like, what if our souls didn't start on Earth and we could like prove it, right? Because we can say that. And, if you're talking to someone in your life or something, they'll be like, okay. But I thought if you really sit with that and you think about like being able to see it, see what it is, um, and then, would be like, what if your dreams that you have, or a feeling when you're watching like a sci-fi and you feel like completely preoccupied with the concept of the movie that you're watching? Maybe because what if that was like a memory and not necessarily fantasy? So I wanted to understand it better, and I dove deeper. And what I found was like a mix of like science that made my jaw kind of drop, and then spiritual insights that made my soul kind of stir because I was just like, wow. And of course, I had to share it. So the first thing I want to show you um, is I want to show you I put a couple slides together because I'm visual too. I don't know if that helps you guys, but kind of helps me. So let me put it up while we discuss. So there is, okay. So the first thing that I was talking about was like a DNA hologram connection. And when I first read about the idea of that DNA like emits light, I thought, okay, is it kind of fringe? But then I saw Dr. Peter Garriev's research on wave genetics, and it kind of blew my mind. So he talks about how DNA isn't just a chemical structure. It's actually emits light called biophotons and behaves like a holographic projector. And that intrigued me. So I asked myself, if DNA emits light, could it also carry light codes from somewhere else? Right? Because we talk about light codes, we talk about codes in light. Um, so he has a lot of really good information. If you guys are interested, he's got like a website and stuff. And then there's epigenetics, right? And memory beyond lineage. So then I looked into epigenetics because I needed to know more about how memory is stored beyond what we traditionally think of as genetic inheritance. So let's look at our next slide. Do you guys know who that is? So Bruce Lipton in the biology of belief talks about how our environment and emotions affect our genes and how they're expressed. And I thought, if Earth-based experiences can switch genes on or off with epigenetics, what about pre-Earth experiences? What about emotional imprints from other lifetimes and other systems? And that opened the door to me to think about our DNA like a multidimensional, like memory stick. And then we started talking about it from a perspective of, okay, so if we're speaking about it from that perspective, they always talk about the mitochondrial aspect of DNA and how that's like your maternal lineages, right? So this part really got me thinking about astrology, because mitochondrial DNA is only passed down by your mother. That ties to the moon in your chart, which governs emotions, memory, and maternal connection. So I looked at the charts and I saw something. People with a moon in Aquarius, especially if it touches your south node, often feel otherworldly. Is that crazy? Like they're from somewhere else. And that somewhere else could be, the stars. So I have another slide that I did. So I just put this together with, it wasn't exactly the way that I want it to look, but it's hard to do it with. It's like you can give AI an idea, right? But that doesn't mean it's always um, gonna, let me see. I'm just looking at your guys' stuff. Okay, so the first example would be Moon in Aquarius conjunct the South Node. So I want to give you a little bit of context with this one, just as an example, so you can understand kind of where I'm going with it. And then the other ones I'll just kind of bullet point, because I want you to understand like how deep this runs. So that's possibly a link to a Pleiadian or Arcturian energy. And here's why. The South Node represents past life patterns, talents, and tendencies. When the South Node is in Aquarius, it signifies a comfortable familiarity with humanitarian ideals, intellectual pursuits, and a desire to help others on a large scale. So the Moon in Aquarius conjunct the South Node represents your emotions, intuition, and your subconscious mind. A conjunction with the South Node means that Aquarian themes are deeply ingrained and instinctual. So people with this placement may naturally resonate with energies focused on collective consciousness and social betterment. So Arcturus, some sources associate Arcturus with higher consciousness, seeing the bigger picture, and the desire to raise humanity's awareness. This aligns with humanitarian and intellectual energies related with the South Node in Aquarius. And Arcturus is also linked to a desire to connect with nature and understand interconnectedness of everything. This resonates with Aquarius's interest in collective well-being. And so then let's talk about Pleiades. The Pleiades are also associated with the spiritual growth and awakening. While some sources link the Pleiades to potential negative karmic influences, it's also said that they support people with positive intentions and increase the sense of honor. And the humanitarian drive in the South Node in Aquarius can align with the positive influence of the Pleiades, emphasizing service to others. So, in essence, it's like the combination of the Moon and South Node in Aquarius creates a powerful resonance with energies that support collective well being and higher consciousness. And the Pleiades and Arcturus are, are often seen as celestial bodies that amplify these themes. So, it's possible to link between the astrological placement and the energies of these stars. So, particularly in spiritual and esoteric astrology interpretations. So, that's kind of like how I'm looking at it, right? And so, then the next one would be the 12th house um, stellium in Pisces. And that might carry like bleed through memories or lifetimes in other systems. And then Uranus in the fourth house is a feeling of never really belonging and the rootlessness of that might actually be galactic. So when I saw a couple of these patterns, I asked myself, what else is here? So I kept digging. And then I saw, like celestial origins. We're going to talk about that. So here are some of my friends and some other people. So you guys know who these are. This is the starseed concept, right? So it's more than a trend. You might have heard people talk about star seeds a lot of times, and it's not just like a spiritual label, but when you listen to Dolores Cannon, Barbara Marcianic, and also Marina Jacobi, and of course our friend Sorita Anteria, you can see that it's kind of like a theme, right? These are people who are saying like your soul volunteered, you came here for a reason, and what you're thinking about as far as you being a star seed, uh, can kind of see how much you align with it, right? So, what are your thoughts about that? Like, do you think of yourself, as a star seed? Um, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me catch up with you. Let's see. I think blood types might have something to do with it. Okay. I have Uranus in my fourth house. Yeah, interesting. So, you know, it's kind of interesting to think about from that perspective. Do you consider yourselves star seeds? Star and earth seed. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. It's funny to me when people differentiate in that way. I really think we all are star seeds. I don't. There probably are people who have only had earth lives. Maybe I have a friend who believes that she's only really ever been here. Um, I haven't met any yet that I've seen in my my sessions. Um, Everyone that I've seen also have um, lives other places. So I don't know. I Have you ever met anybody who thinks that I mean, besides people that don't believe in this stuff at all, who think that they're just from Earth? I don't know. So let's see. So then I have another slide that I want to share with you. I think we've been everywhere. Yeah. Or at least the potential to be. Um, I've been here so many times. Yeah, I think we're all star seeds. We've been everywhere. Yeah, I think so. And I definitely see in some of my sessions there are people that have a preference and they seem to go back to certain areas um, several times, which I feel like I've done with Earth. I think that I have been here a bunch, but I've also seen myself other places. And I don't know, maybe it's like some kind of contractual thing. Maybe it's something that you're kind of signing up for infinite to help a certain area or a certain place to ascend and evolve. I don't know. Um, yeah, I have a friend. She's very, very awake and aware, and she's convinced that she is just from here. Um, so, you know, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. Um, a soul may come here for a reason and hasn't incarnated elsewhere. I'm thinking that my youngest, although I think she's been here before, I really don't think it's much. It's definitely associated with Greece and ancient Greece, because she's just since she's little has been completely into everything that is Greek. She just knew all of the like mythological stuff. She knows like temples and things like that. I'm talking about since a little kid, like weirdly. It's her favorite food. When we go to the Greek food festival here, which is kind of like a tradition in our family, we always go for Emma's birthday because it comes in and around her birthday. Since Emma was like in a stroller, we've done this, and Gigi, she is into it. The music, like the everything. She would go and we'd buy her those little like scarf sash kind of things that you put around and tie on your waist, and they're kind of just like a big triangular shaped thing, and she'll tie it and it's got the coins, that are sewn into it and like jiggle and stuff. She was like, since she was like probably 4, she's up there dancing with them like the Greek music. It's funny to watch because you just realize when um, you know, see people that kind of have a propensity to lean towards a certain thing, you're like, oh, okay. Um, and Emma was always more interested in Egypt. Um, when I was younger, I was interested in Egypt too, but I was really drawn to Petra. When I saw Petra, I remember being like, whoa, okay, like completely enthralled and intrigued by it. Um, your daughter is an old soul. Yeah, I can totally see that in her. She's a beautiful soul too. She loves everything antique. How cool. Um, she's an old soul and she has good taste. Okay, so let me go to the next one. Okay. So I had AI help me to kind of create these because I didn't like some of the ones that were. When I look at some of the Lyrian ones, Lyran ones, it doesn't. I don't know, like the ones with the big lions and things like that. They're cool. They're very cool, but I don't know. There's something about it. I feel like it's close but no cigar kind of a thing. I'm not sure. For me. Um, but I've also heard from people and talked to people that have full on seen that. So maybe it's just something that I hadn't seen, but I wanted to create something that felt a little bit more close to what I resonate with. So okay, so let's talk vibes. Because each galactic lineage kind of seems to carry a specific emotional and energetic signature. And here's what I found. So Lyrans are associated with golden light, feline energy, big on like sovereignty and courage, and they feel ancient. Pleiadians are heart centered, artistic, peaceful, lots of empathy and emotional intelligence. Octurians are tech savvy, mind mastery types, and geometry and precision. And I have a lot of Octurian in my stuff, and I am not tech savvy at all, but I am very much into geometry, precision, and I love things that kind of bend my mind and help me to, develop that. So, and then Syrians, they're supposed to be deep, mystical, often linked to like Atlantis and Egypt. And I asked AI why it decided to create the Syrians to look like Africans. I wanted to know, like, is that like another deeper link that I didn't understand? And here's what I got about that. So, um, it was saying Syrians and the African connection, the Syrian star system, particularly Sirius A and B, have been intimately linked with Earth's ancient cultures, especially many African civilizations. And I remember the Dogon one, um, but I guess I still didn't kind of connect the dots with that. So it's just not like channeled woo kind of stuff. There's actual like mythology, symbology, and some oral traditions that support it. So the Dogon tribe of Mali, um, they're possibly the most well-known like earth group with Syrian ties. And the Dogon people of Mali have passed down detailed astronomical I don't know, for some reason that doesn't sound right to me, knowledge about Sirius B. So they were saying that, it was like this two star system before people realized it. And they, before they had like telescopes and stuff that could confirm it. Um, and it's supposed to be like the heaviest star. It's orbiting Sirius A in a 50-year elliptical pattern. And they said that, and that was accurate. And then they associated with amphibious beings called the Nomo, who came from Sirius to seed knowledge on Earth. So that was passed down from generations before like colonization and stuff and science, and even before like written text. So how would they know that kind of stuff? You know, um, a lot of people say it's like ancient contact. Makes sense. And ancestral memory too. So either way, it's profound, right? And then the Kemetic and Nubian symbolism in ancient Egypt. So then they were, into Sirius, which they called Sopdet or Sothis. And that was an important star in Egyptian cosmology. Its rising marked the start of the Nile flood and the new year for them. So it was like bringing life, fertility, and cosmic renewal. And goddesses like Isis were directly associated with Sirius. And many deities depicted with dark or golden skin, cosmic features, and high dimensional symbolism are thought to reflect star being consciousness merged with humanity and the ancestry. So there's actually a lot there to do with that. And then vibration. Let's talk about vibration and harmonic resonance. I had to share this too because, cymatics is the study of how sound frequency shapes matter, and water responds to sound and light, forming intricate geometric patterns. So I have this one, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with. This is Masura Emoto's work, that he shows like how you can hold water with emotion, and our bodies are mostly water. So what happens when you hear a tone like 963 hertz? Have you tried it? Does it unlock something in you? I decided that I am going to try this. And you guys try it too and let me know if you do it. But play 963 hertz and then place your hand on your heart, breathe deeply, and ask what starlight lives within me. And then just write down what you get. Don't overthink it. You just got to like write it down and see kind of what you get with that. It'll be interesting to see if you get an answer. I think a lot of times we get stuff and then we discount it like right away. um I don't know. I think that there's, more to it than that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think you can find all of the answers, in and for yourself, but I'm going to show you how to actually look at your astrology and figure it out too. Because ultimately, that's what we want to see. We want to see it so we can write it down, not forget. And there's always more than one. Even if there's one that you like, I've always kind of um, felt the link since my awakening with Arcturus, but there's so much more in mine. I'm going to share mine with you guys a little bit too, just so you can kind of see like how you can draw the lines and you can kind of see like where everything is. Okay. So, and then I wanted to give you guys like an idea to do for like a visualization too. So what you're going to want to do is like close your eyes and picture your DNA as like golden spirals, and then watch them just extend all the way up to the stars. See like light pouring in and activating like dormant strands. Watch yourself do more than like the two-strand DNA. See it going, to 12 or whatever it is that you feel comfortable doing, and watch it like activating and just pour light on it, have it reach all the way up to the stars. And then listen for like whispers of like language, memories, see if you get any pictures. Do you get a star name? What do you feel? Like just tune into all of that stuff. Have a pen and paper next to you. And then, you know, see if there's anything, write it down. And then also you want to go to like astrology and look at like fixed stars in your birth chart. Look at like Regulus, Aldebaran, and Antares and Vega. See if you feel anything. Look at them. Pull them up on your computer. You know, um, see when you pull up these places. Look at Pleiades. Look at different places and just see if you get any kind of a charge when you're staring at it. If it feels different than the last one you did, and just look for differentiations with that. And then obviously the numerology, when we see things like 1111 and we see 333 and 444 and things like that, see if you get any kind of galactic pings with that. And then, of course, if you have dreams, see if you can receive anything in those dreams. Can you control any aspect of your dreams? Can you ask questions in them? Maybe set an intention before you go to bed, you know? Um, I want to remember if I was taught anything on ships, if I was receiving any downloads. Sometimes if you do that, you can do it where like I was picturing it and asking if I was receiving information, and I saw myself being handed a scroll, and I didn't see what was in the scroll, but it was like a confirmation to me. It was like a yes, you know. Do you see any beings, or is there anybody in your consciousness? Sometimes you can see it in your peripheral, like when you're going to go do a meditation, and you could tell like you're being like looked at. There's like people that are watching you. Have you ever done that? Um, you know, you can see that. And then I don't know if you read my book, but in one of my meditations once I saw a pink sun, and it was me before Earth. And it was like glowing and it was radiant and it was like pure love. And I asked, do we all begin like this? And the answer was mostly. So have you ever had anything like that? Have you ever seen anything, you know, that was that was like that? Um, let's see. I've been meditating with 639 hertz. That's really good because it opens your heart. That's amazing. Do you feel different for doing that than using the 432? Are you kind of, can you detect any differences with that? I'll try that tonight. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Um, it's interesting to just it's to kind of see, but even looking at the stars, like there's some that you just, for some reason, you feel more drawn to. Why? Why are you feeling more drawn to that? Instead of getting an answer right away where you're like, oh, it's because I had a life. Just accept the fact that there's one that you're leaning more to, and holding that in your field and holding that in your space. And maybe in time, more information, can come to you from it and for it, right? So that you can kind of understand, like, why am I so interested in this? Why is this one in particular making me lean in more? And do you guys ever do that with like the sci-fi movies when there's, some sci-fi movies that's just like that was cool, and then there's some sci-fi movies it's like you realize like you're thinking about that afterwards more. You're thinking about the plot. You're thinking about, what was happening there, or what you were looking at, visually. Sometimes it just feels like it's a little bit more to it. Okay, so I wanted to share some interesting placements in my chart to show you where to look on your own. So I'm using mine as an example so that you can see the diversity and complexity there, um, and you can see how it kind of works. So um, one of the things that I saw, and I think I can show you, well, it kind of showed, let me see. Stargate felt real. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And I love when they're plausible like that. I felt like that with Contact too. I felt like, okay, I can totally see, this is like plausible. But Stargate was really cool. I loved that one too. And the way that they made, like, it was raw, right? That was crazy. Um, okay, let's see. So this is what I asked AI to kind of put together of like star lineages and stuff, and it kind of blended it for me. So I'm gonna share some of my stuff with you guys. So um, because you realize that astrology can be more than just like your personality, and if you're looking at it from like where the fixed planets are, then you realize it's kind of like a memory, like a galactic memory. And so you can look at specific placements and you can point out like galactic lineages. So in mine, I have Mercury at 29 degrees Sagittarius. And so that starseed lineage would be like Sirian and Central Sun. So that's like a cosmic broadcaster placement. It's receiving messages from like the galactic core. Um, and if your Mercury is here like mine, you're likely more multidimensional communicator guided by higher intelligence. This is a placement that often points to Sirius B and C connections and a mission of truth, sound healing, and vibrational frequency transmission. And then I have Pluto at 29 degrees Virgo in my first house, and that's Lyran and Orion. So this is like a completion degree, which is conjunct the ascendant, and it suggests like a soul who's served as a system builder, like Lyran stuff, and a transmuter of shadow, which is Orion, and it represents karmic cleanup, purification, and ancient temple timelines. And then my moon is at Pisces at 28 degrees in my eighth house. And that starseed lineage is Andromedan and Arcturian. This is soul memory of divine feminine, emotional mastery, a transdimensional travel. This placement can reveal like empathy beyond words. It can be frequency healing through presence. And in the eighth house, it's tied to transformation and soul passage. So it's like a spiritual death and rebirth. And then my north node is in Aquarius in the sixth house. So that's Pleiadian and Galactic Council. So that means that you come to, or I came here to restore like harmony through service. This lineage often involves like a priestess, which is really interesting because if you watched my show that I did, I guess it was Saturday. Was that Saturday? I don't even know anymore. I think it was Saturday. And I got a message. I was going to share with you guys something totally different. But anyway, one of the things I heard was angelic. I heard priestess, and I heard source, and I heard love. So when I saw like the priestess part of it, I was like, aha. But it's also like peacekeepers and light coders who integrate like spirituality with like practical daily life. And Aquarius adds the galactic future builder thread to that. And then Uranus is in Libra in my second house. And that starseed lineage is again Arcturian and also hybrid. So it's like a deep sense of like not belonging because you don't. You came to like rewire value systems through technology, intuitive guidance, and vibrational embodiment. So this placement bridges Earth systems with galactic understanding. So that's kind of like my stuff. And then, so I want to tell you guys how to check your own. Let me stop sharing here. So what you're gonna do, let's see. Hi, thanks for joining us. See. Yeah, it's really cool when you start looking at it, and then you realize that you're so because like I said, like I've always been and even interacted with Arcturian energies, but some of the other ones I was like, I don't know if I am anything else. I don't really see it. Although Bastet was coming to me right before everybody was going, there was like a big group that were going to Egypt, and it was probably a couple months before that. And probably 4 months before I really wanted to go, I had talked to Abby Lynn because she was doing it, and I just couldn't. It was like everything was kind of falling apart over here. So with the people around us, so I just kind of was like, I can't pick up and try to like go to Egypt for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. It was just not going to happen. So so I didn't go. But every time I was having meditations, I was seeing Bastet, which I didn't even know who that was. Um, I hadn't like I knew some of the bigger names. Not that I'm not trying to say Bastet isn't a bigger name, but I didn't know who she was at all. And she was coming to me in meditations. And at one point, I saw her. She was standing in front of me, and then she stepped to my side and was holding my hand. And she didn't come to me as a feline. She came to me as a Egyptian looking woman, and she was wearing this armor shield kind of thing on the front of her, and it had a lion on the front of it. And when she came and she stood next to me and was holding my hand, I had one on me too. And I was standing with her, and I was like, wow, that was like the first introduction to her. And then it was, I don't know, it went on for weeks where I kept seeing her. And even now when I'm telling you about it, I can see her. So she kind of just like comes in, her energy comes in. So it's interesting because I didn't think anything Lyran at all. And then, although I think most of us that are here have probably some connection, but I didn't feel it is what I'm saying. And then here it was. So that was interesting. Her tea is so good, you guys. It's so good. If you haven't tried it, you really need to try it. And I'm not affiliated. I mean, other than the fact that she's one of my best friends, but it's really, really good. Okay. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to check your planetary degrees for alignment with fixed stars. So you're looking for like your planetary degrees. You're going to look for the fixed stars in it. Do you have Sirius in there? Do you have Vega in there? Etc. And then you're going to look at your Mercury, your Moon, your Pluto, your Uranus, and your North Node placements. You want to see where those are. You're going to kind of also, you want to use your intuition during this, right? You don't want to just, look at it. You want to feel into it a little bit and see what your resonance is. If certain systems call to you, that's data too, right? You can use astro.com or astroseek or one of those to find exact degrees. If you don't know exactly what your degrees are, you can put in your information and do that, and then research the fixed star alignments. And then you're going to look for themes like, are you a communicator? Are you a healer? Are you a grid worker? Your chart will reflect your mission. So you want to look at that as well. And then you're going to also chart, your chart is like how you're going to look at it. Look at it more like a holographic mirror, right? So your DNA isn't just like carbon and chemical, it's light, it's geometry, it's memory. And so when you start to see where these placements are for you, you want to, look up when you're feeling lost, when you're upset about something, find your star system and try to connect, on a deeper connection with it. Because even if you're not feeling it now, once you become aware of it, you'll start seeing the synchronicities kind of coming in, right? Because you know that you're not from here. We were talking about that, earlier. You chose here, and your codes, they're waiting to be remembered. So you can do those kind of things. So if you want, I did create like this kind of cheat sheet with everything in it. It's got more than what we just went over now. So I'll give it to you guys. I'll send it to you. I'll email it to you for free. Just email me at deepdivesinthedesert@gmail. It's on the screen, and put like DNA in the subject, and then I'll send it to you. I'm never going to share your email information with anybody at all. Although I might email you if I ever have like an update or something like that about my channel or my website, but I'll never ever share it. So if you decide that you want one of those so that you have it in front of you, then you can email me, and then I'll send it to you. Um, yeah, you have big connections to Lyra. Um, Yeah, did you know, like, is that the one that you felt first? Was that you were Lyran, or what was your thing like? What did you guys know first? What was the first one? You love Solstice. I know, me too. Which one's your favorite one? I love um I love the love potion one. I love the cleanse. Um I am that witch. I actually love them all. I love the heal a broken heart, and I don't have a broken heart, but um, I still drink them because I mean, actually, I kind of do these days with all the stuff going on with my family and their health things. It's been really hard, painful to just see everybody that you love struggling and going through. My son is having some health issues. I have a little grandbaby that's having some health issues as well, and that's tough. And then my mother, that breaks my heart because my mother was so articulate and sharp and just like on it. She was the one that like handled stuff. She was the definitely the matriarch in the family, and to see that shift like that, it's been hard. So maybe I need to drink more of that one. I actually need to order more. I've had a ton of it because she sent me a whole bunch when she first sent it out, all her teas. But then I bought a bunch too, and then the girls liked a few, so we reordered a couple of them. Um, you first were Pleiadian. Okay. Yeah, Johnny too. That was the first thing. Although I saw him angelic. I saw him as like this angelic. And then, but Pleiadian is the one that he really, I guess, can relate to the most. He's got a lot of stuff too. He's got some cool stuff that we didn't realize. And Emma does too. We kind of were going through everybody's after I started like doing the research and trying to figure out like what you look at and how you can see it and everything. But it was, you know, it's really interesting to see, and you can see exactly where these things line up for you and match it up so you can see exactly for yourself. It's not somebody else telling you, like you could find it right on there. It's really clear. So yeah, if you guys are interested in getting that thing, I had it because I had all my notes in my scratch, so I put it together. I had AI like make it pretty and kind of put it together, nicer. So I'll send it to you so that you can grab it as well. Um, I love Lyrans. I believe I have one as a guide, and it's a line kind. Okay, so you did see it. I had astrology thing, and I had a lot of Lyran connections. I need to find that again. Yeah. When I've tried to see them in that way, I do see them, but they kind of look cartoony to me. And I was getting an idea that I was tuning into the idea that people can hold of them and not necessarily the beings. And when I started looking at the beings, they looked more like not it's not exact, but maybe even more like Avatar kind of things. You know how they have like a more feline looking kind of thing, but I wasn't getting that they were actually felines. It's just that we had felines here, and that's how we were. That's what we were signing to it. Um, but I've heard a lot of people like you who feel like, no, no, I've seen like actual, feline beings. So I don't know. For whatever reason, I don't see them that way. Although I did see some visions of some that looked like kind of like black cats, and a lighter colored cat, but a lot like black cats and larger ears and kind of like Bastet's depicted actually. And in that, I was thinking like those were the beings that were in Egypt, probably, although I did not see a tail on these beings. So I don't know if that's something that people, um, let's see, I did a meditation with him and his mate looked more like yours, kind of. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. I I was kind of wondering after when I was looking at them if they were just so closely, like their faces were different and they were so closely, um, had so many similarities to like what felines have here that we just kind of assigned that to them, but they're actually just beings that look different. Although Tony Rodriguez said that basically, every animal, insect, all that things can be represented somewhere in the universe. Not, I don't know if it's just the galaxy or the universe, but so that was interesting. He was telling me one time about a story about this one place that all the people look like rats. I don't know if you guys saw that one. We had talked about it before that. And that is like where I have such a phobia with rodents. I don't know why. I was telling John after I heard that maybe that's why, because I was like stuck on that planet or something and it wasn't good. It didn't go good because it's not normal. Like it's not, I'm working on it, but it's not normal. I can't even watch them on TV, you guys. I cannot see them. I don't want to see them at all. I'm not one of those people that can look at it and go, oh, but it's cute. No, I don't think it's cute. They're gross. I don't know. I have like a visceral reaction that is completely irrational. And I know that it's irrational, but my brain can say that all day long. That does not prohibit me from having the reaction I have. I don't know. I just don't like them. Like some people are about snakes and insects. That's how I am about those. But anyway, so let me know what you guys think. Your friend had pet rats. One time when Emma was a teenager, my son Nick um, had him and his wife had got two fancy rats, and they had him over there, and they let her hold it. I literally started crying because I was so like, like I was stupid, but I made her like strip down her clothes. I threw them right in the washing machine. She had to go and jump in the shower as soon as she came home because I literally was just it was irrational. I don't know, it was totally irrational, but I was just like, no, this it's not okay. And I like told them, do not ever let her hold them again. It's bad. And they know this about me. So it's not, I'm better, I think, than I was then. I don't know if I'd have, no, I might still have that reaction. I'm not sure. It's not good. It's not good. Okay. So is there anything else? So, oh, next week I'm going to do on episode 8, I'm going to do the frequency of language and how we can like reclaim the power of words. So, um, when they talk about a spell casting and doing that, I'm like deep diving into that right now. It's really interesting, especially when we talk about dictionaries and how they've changed. It's like a really interesting thing. So I'm in the middle of looking into that now for you guys, and I will be going over that. Um, you know, if you guys are interested in checking that one out with me, and then just remember to look at your fixed stars. If you guys want that, PDF, then let me know. Maybe I need to do a meditation. I've done so many meditations on it. I've done so many. I think I'm blocking myself from something. That's why I was saying, like the thing with Tony. I wonder if that's a thing, or those people. Maybe it wasn't that place, but something. Um, wouldn't Marduk be tied to dog like people? I mean, maybe, perhaps. And I wonder. I mean, I don't know if you guys read my book, but I had some um, Atlantis stuff, and I think that one of those lives, at least one of those lives, when they were doing hybridization, and they were doing like weird cloning stuff, and it went too far. Like it went to a dark place. It was not. They were mixing humans with all kinds of stuff, and it could even be something like that. Where it wasn't necessarily these beings. It was some kind of hybridization kind of a thing gone wrong, gone wild kind of a thing. I wonder sometimes someday I want to have Jessica Jones on because I want to ask her about some of the cryptids that she sees and stuff. And I know that she thinks that some of them are experiments and things like that, but she also believes that there are some that are um, actual like beings. I would love to dive deeper into that for her with her because I have some questions, about that. Cool idea. It's crazy what we've done with words. Look up the word blessing. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm in the middle of looking into these things right now. And let me tell you, it's a very interesting thing. Um, and how we've just wired everything for the negative and against, ourselves and the betterment for ourselves. So and then I was thinking of also wanting to maybe do a show more about like um it's not I'm not really looking at it from a pagan perspective, but like, the solstices and all of those kind of things. Like I kind of want to understand it more from a scientific point of view, but also spiritual and kind of coming into understanding a little bit more about um, why would they have us step away from that so much? I mean, we can speculate what that is, but I really wanted to see what what that's all about on a very real, because I believe that our alignment with the planet is so important. I know it's a big part of the ascension. We're actually ascending with her, the planet. So to keep us out of sync with it so much makes sense. But I kind of want to deep dive into that too and understand a little bit more, or positive word that's really a negative thing. Yeah. It gets deep. It gets really deep with words. So anyway, so that's what I have for you guys. Let me know if you guys want to, look up your own stuff. You'll have that in front of you, so you can kind of look through it. But it's definitely there. I mean, if you know where to look and you can see in the degrees and everything, you can find what other stars you're associated with, which ones you're tied to, lineage wise. It's like right on your birth chart. So it's fascinating, and how to see that with the degrees and stuff. You can even figure out like, was this something that you're walking through, or something that you're um, just kind of starting to look into? Are you in the middle of it? Like where you are with it? So for solstice, you're going to the mountains near you. Very cool. Yeah, I'm really wanting to take a deeper look into that, and maybe also incorporating something in my family with it, where we're tuning into it again, and how that looks. So I like the idea of going somewhere and doing it. It's so hot here. I don't know where you are, but here it's like 109, 110 degrees. It's like when you open the oven. Uh, yeah, that's what it feels like. Um, Thank you. You too. Have a great night. Thank you. And I will see you guys again um, soon. Johnny's going to have his show too. This one is going to be pretty cool, I think, too, that he's doing. He's kind of doing a switch. So I don't know, he's trying to do things that are more in his wheelhouse, but it's going to be an adjustment for people, I think, because it's different. But this one's called No End Game, Just Growth. Stories, markets, and the momentum of mastery. So it's going to be really cool. He's got a lot of stuff that he's working on. Um, Thank you, Ken. I appreciate you. And then, also, I sent you an email. I don't know if you saw it or not, but just so we can kind of finish up with our stuff we were talking about working on. So, um, oh, there he is. Yeah, we were just talking about your next show. It's going to be on Wednesday. I didn't have time to get up so I could show you guys, so I'll work on that now. But hopefully, he'll see you 10 o'clock on Wednesday, 10 a.m. on Wednesday, Pacific Standard Time. And that's it. So I will talk to you guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining me, and we will see you soon. And in the meantime, I'm going to do more research into spell casting and spelling, and I'll let you guys know what I find out. Okay? I'll talk to you soon. Love you to everyone. Okay, bye-bye.